So the NBA is ruined. I'm pretty sure we knew about this already. It happened last year, or 2 years ago now, when the snake in the bottom left corner decided to leave Oklahoma or slash Seattle after 9 years of playing there, and pretty much said, "All right, Draymond Green, I'll listen to you. We did just blow a 3-1 lead to you. I cried about how Russell Westbrook is my brother, blah blah blah, at my MVP press conference." And I'm just going to turn my back on the whole city and join the team that went 73-9 and broke the record for most wins in a season. So let's fast forward 2 years, right? The Warriors win two championships easily. I'm pretty sure they were 8-1 in the finals in those 2 years. I think they lost a game four that they really didn't need to win. So they could have been 8-0 easily. But wait, ladies and gentlemen, it does not stop there. After those 2 years of winning in a row, who do the Warriors get? Probably one of the top three most talented big men in the league, who averaged 25 points and 12 rebounds before his Achilles injury last year. Um, it's just ridiculous at this point. I mean, like, I don't want to come off as like this salty guy or anything, but like, here's the thing. I respect what the Warriors front office is doing. If this was the Nets who are my team, I would love this. But like, the fact that like Adam Silver just sits back and lets this happen, like I feel like he roots for Golden State to win. Like, it's just not even fair anymore. I, as a sports fan, root for a competitive atmosphere, and for the last 3 years, we've known who's going to win the finals. Like, it's not even competitive anymore. It's kind of getting boring, and that's why the finals ratings have gone down the last 2 years. Because once Kevin Durant joined, we knew what was going to happen. I mean, you put the second best player in the league, with two of the best shooters the league has ever seen, and one of the most fierce defenders and competitors the league has to offer on the same team against LeBron James and a bunch of guys who underperform. What do you think's going to happen? LeBron's only one guy. He can only do so much. In the last few years, I've been a big LeBron guy. I mean, I didn't like when he left Cleveland the first time. I thought it was kind of like, like, why are you doing this to your own city and whatnot? But once he came back and the Warriors were really like the dynasty of the NBA, LeBron's kind of been the underdog the last few years, and I've been rooting really hard for them. Seeing them win the championship in 2016, I believe it was great, and seeing them the Warriors blow a 3-1 lead was just amazing. But think about it: if they don't blow that 3-1 lead, that's four championships in a row, and then here you are adding the, I think, second best big man in the league. I know Cousins is going to be out till January, February, maybe December if he's lucky, but like, he's going to come back fine. I mean, it seems like nowadays with big injuries, most players come back and really don't miss a beat. Cousins is still only 27 years old, I believe. So like, the chances that Cousins is like half the player he was is not really going to happen. And anything compared to JaVale McGee, Zaza Pachulia, Festus Ezeli, Andrew Bogut, whoever the hell they had in the past, DeMarcus Cousins is definitely going to outperform them. And now that DeMarcus Cousins can shoot threes, I mean, it's really just not fair at this point. It's just frustrating, man. Like, I don't get why this is allowed, and the league is turning into something that I never wanted to see. I heard Mike Korzemba talk about how it's like kind of like you're playing 2K as a kid and you like put all the best players on one team. That's really what it's like. I mean, if you like made a team as a kid, you can put these five guys on a starting lineup and say like, oh, this is only something that happened in a video game, but here we are in real life. And it's been happening for the last 3 years now, where Kevin Durant joins this team. Now we put DeMarcus Cousins on this team. I mean, what's next? I mean, it feels like any player who's in the league for like 6 or 7 years and hasn't won a title is just going to go to the Warriors, and soon their 12th man's going to be like, a second team all NBA player or something like that. It's just ridiculous the way this is going. What's happening now, it needs to get fixed. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm obviously not as smart as the people who run the NBA, but I think there needs to be some kind of like, somehow you need to rate a player and be like, look, you can't get paid this much money, this less amount of money, if you're that good. DeMarcus Cousins is not worth $5.5 million. That just makes no sense to me. And they say, yeah, well, the market wasn't too kind of DeMarcus. Well, you know what? Like, someone has to pay this guy more, because what's going to happen is something like this, where the best team by far in the NBA picks up one of the most intriguing free agents. He's coming off a big injury. I understand it, but he's going to be fine. I mean, by the time the playoffs come around, the Warriors are most likely going to have their five starters all healthy, and it's going to be a breeze for them. They're going to reach the finals with no problems. Their only competition is going to be the young Celtics team. It's going to be maybe the Sixers, and I don't know who else in the East is going to give them any kind of run. I really don't. So, it's basically down to, maybe a handful of teams next year. But the Warriors are by far the most, favorite to win the NBA championship. I would bet pretty much bet my house on it that the Warriors would win the finals next year, unless something drastic happens, trading wise, and maybe LeBron's Lakers get somebody. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But right now, when you look at it this way, the Warriors just look unbeatable at this point, and there's no reason to think otherwise. And the most sad thing to me about this whole situation is before Durant became a Warrior, I actually did root for them. They were a homegrown team. They had two incredible shooters that were transforming the way the game was played. I mean, thanks to Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, the NBA is just, such a run and gun type league, and we're shooting a lot more threes, and it's just crazy how things have changed, even over the last 5 years if you think about it. I mean, these guys have just transformed everything. And Draymond Green's the type of player I like. Not dirty guy, but a guy that will hustle and will chirp a bit at players and get in their heads. I mean, I like guys like that, especially on my team. When the Nets have a guy like that, like Quincy Acey comes to mind. Quincy Acey's not nearly as talented as Draymond Green, but I always like to have Quincy Acey on my team because, he knew how to get in people's heads and was always making hustle plays. That's what the Warriors had with Draymond Green, but times 10. So I can only imagine how great that is. But I like this quote I saw from Nick Wright that came out, I think, today. The premise of professional sports is competition. It's not the only reason we watch, but it's a huge element. Golden State Warriors is making a mockery of it. I mean, you really can't say it much better yourself. I mean, what the Warriors are doing, it all makes sense. I understand you want to win. I understand it's professional sports, but we have to have a little competition now. I mean, I'm not even excited to watch anymore. I mean, I was excited for about 24 hours. LeBron goes to the Lakers, all this shit's happening. It's been an exciting, free agency so far, and the draft was good and everything. But, when you see LeBron goes to the Lakers, okay, that's cool, that's new, that's exciting. DeMarcus Cousins goes to the Warriors, and you're like, who the hell's beating this team? It just makes no sense. It kind of just, deflated all the fun out of it, and it's just a shame the way it's gone. I mean, the Warriors are a team that deserve a lot of respect for everything they're going to do. I mean, they're just they're a wonderful team. I wish it didn't go down the way it did go down, but, we just got to live with it. But as I said, I think the chances the Warriors win the finals next year, I mean, probably 95%. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's what's the point of even watching the regular season next year? It just makes no sense. We know the Warriors are going to come out of the West. I think the Celtics are going to come out of the East. I mean, the Celtics versus the Warriors, I mean, I understand Jason Tatum's going to improve. Hopefully Kyrie Irving's healthy. Hopefully Gordon Hayward's healthy. Maybe Jaylen Brown takes another step. I don't know what kind of competition they're going to give the Warriors, but I can't imagine they can give them more than a 6-game series. I mean, I just can't see it happening. So maybe the Celtics get some other star player, but who really knows at this point? But, if everything stays the same as it is right now, the Warriors, I think they just have to win. I mean, unless half their team gets hurt, and even in that case, I still think they can make the finals. But unless something huge happens, or someone gets traded, or someone gets hurt, I just don't see any way that the Warriors can screw this up, honestly. Also, my Nets fans will love this. So Deron Williams, who I don't think has played for the Nets since the 2014-2015 season, Deron Williams will make $5.5 million in NBA salary in 2018-2019. DeMarcus Cousins will make $5.3 million next year. I don't know what to think about this, honestly. Part of me wants to laugh about it, but part of me is this is complete BS. I mean, I don't know what to think about it. But, it's just funny. It's another Nets thing that makes you laugh. So, to wrap this up, I want to blame, 3 people for kind of ruining the NBA. So, first off, Adam Silver, please fix your league. There is something very wrong here. One team is much, I can go on for a while, much better than all the other teams. As I said, I don't know how to fix it. I do have some ideas, but I'm sure they're flawed, so I really hope they find some type of way to fix it. Number 2, Kevin Durant. One of the softest decisions I've ever seen in sports. DeMarcus Cousins, I don't think his decision is even comparable because DeMarcus Cousins wasn't really getting many offers, apparently. Kevin Durant was probably pursued by every single team in the league and ultimately decided to join the team coming off the best record in NBA history in the middle of his prime. So I would definitely put him at number 2. Him and Adam Silver are neck and neck in my opinion. Then I would put a gap and put DeMarcus Cousins. It's frustrating to see a guy as good as Cousins go to a team as good as Golden State, But if you're not getting any contract offers, then it's understandable. It still irks me that Darren Williams is making more than him this year, and I'll probably never forget that. So that's engraved in my mind. So it sucks to have that. But I get him. I get his perspective more than Durant's, because Cousins is coming off a major injury, as compared to Durant, who's coming off a 3-1 Western Conference Finals lead and losing it to the Warriors and then joining them a few months later. So can't really compare that. So that'll do it for this video. I just want to get my reaction out there. Some of you may like it, some of you may not. So I guess we'll see in the comments. Anyway, but for the Nets, my Nets fans out there, I'll be doing a reaction to the Nets draft and free agency. I was going to do a reaction right after the draft, but I was like, what's the point? Might as well just wait for free agency. And also, I never heard of the guys the Nets drafted. I'll get into that more. Some intriguing guys they picked up. They got Joe Harris, my man, is back, and Ed Davis from Portland. Musa, he seems like a really talented player, still young, and I forget the other guy's name, honestly. But I'll get into that video soon, and thanks for watching.